Hi everyone. So tonight is the moon eclipse. So maybe I'm going to go on a rooftop to see it. Maybe yes, maybe no, because I want to shoot this video. I want to do a few other things, but I think it's only if you're in the US. I don't know if it was all the northern atmosphere or this way or that way. I think it's kind of cute. It should be very orange actually, the moon. Anyway, so today we're going to talk about comparison. And why? Because we've sent a Patreon. So we've sent May and June together. Some of you probably have received some. And anyway, it went last week, the week before last week. And a few others will come in 1 week from now because Eliane had to go away for a week, and so when she comes back she will continue. But it's all shipped except maybe the few people that have just subscribed lately. Voilà. As I say, May and June. So you're going to receive 4 things. One is the Havana. This video is for everybody, I wanted to say already. So even if you have not received that, even if you've subscribed for the lower levels, it's totally fine, you will understand why. I want to take those examples for comparison. We're going to talk about comparison. People ask me all the time, how can I learn more about smelling? Whether you're in the public or you want to be, to make it a profession, be a perfumer or be whatever in the fragrance industry. But also as a public, you have to develop your nose, also not to enjoy life better, to get much more information, and also not to be fooled around. So, again, we've shipped the Havana. Some people have received the formula and the explanations. So the Havana, this is what I want you to do, is to smell it, and then you smell the Jazz by Maison Margiela. When I smell the Jazz, it's in that same vein. You will see some other niche brands have also this vein. I did the Havana in 2010. We played it a whole season at Pasha in Ibiza, in the room on the side. When you come, there's the main room here. When you come inside, on the right is a large room. On the left, in the little courtyard, there's another room, not upstairs, the ground floor, but there's a room there, and then that was Fragrance with Havana the whole summer, 2010. And so I've done that, but it has those tobacco notes, those red fruit notes. For me, it's more like daiquiri and a bit of a whiskey notes, and very rich, and just, you could say it's a jazz club. And actually, we played the Havana as the jazz club when there was a happy hour jazz club at it was called the Seton Hotel at the time, and Seta Hotel, but now it's the Langham Hotel in New York, on 35th and 5th Avenue. And we had a machine to play the jazz. The machine would go on from 5 to 8 every night. Voilà. But anyway, compare, and then you will see, first of all, the Havana has no Hedion, and me, when I smelled the Jazz, it was a little bit diluted. And especially those fragrances, they shouldn't be so, I find them weak. It could be much more for a jazzy feeling, and then, you know, like whether it's a bar or jazz club, you feel much more atmosphere, much more richness, much more darkness, or much more red fruitness or tobacco, but it's blonde tobacco leaves. We're talking cigar tobacco, not the smoke, but just something, voilà. And more plush, and so you will see the difference. So Havana has no Hedion. It's a Hedion-free fragrance. I mentioned that now when I have an Isoe super-free fragrance or a Hedion-free fragrance, because it's also rare, especially in commercial perfumery, to find those structures. So this is one. You receive the Jasmine, and I want everybody, when you see a Jasmine blooming, like this one is going to bloom soon, you see here, that's a Jasmine Sambac, but the one you received for me was an accord that I made for Jasmine Grandiflorum, which we have here, and it's going to bloom soon. I mean, not soon, later, a little bit later. And the story is, when you smell that jasmine, see the other nose. It's not like, oh yeah, I smell of jasmine. See if you see maybe a A dark spicy note, maybe not. But me, I see all the time the green cut grass and the watermelon when I smell the star jasmine. So 5 little petals, flat, a little bit velvety, the petals, and making a little star. Not twisted, the petals, and not like making a little rose. Not like a... So it's the star jasmine, Jasmine grandiflorum. And so... that's the jasmine that grows in grass, and that's the jasmine from Egypt, and the jasmine from India. We have, when we say jasmine in perfumery, is Jasmine grandiflorum. So see if you see different facets when you smell a flower. I brought you here another flower which is blooming at the moment in New York. It's a bit the beginning of the year, and you see lilac. So when you smell lilac, what you should do, you go to the florist, or you go to your garden, but probably you don't have the roses in the garden at the moment. But you go to the florist, you smell the rose first, and then you smell the lilac, and then you will see the terpineol in the lilac. And you might see some of them, maybe a little greenness, but you will see the difference and how, in fact, it smells very much like a floor cleaner. Like this, like Fabuloso, or like in France or in Germany, I'm not very much, I don't remember the names, but these very harsh floor cleaners. And yes, there is terpineol in lilac. And in fact, it's very important for the perfumers between you to choose a good terpineol, not just to do a lilac, but in general. A little bit of terpineol in a fragrance, it makes some florals more floral. A little bit. In lilac, there's a lot. But for if you compare, so smell a rose like this, and you smell it for 1 minute, several breathing, not like this, but like this. And then you go and you smell the light flower, and then you're going to see this dark, scratchy floor cleaner, is piney, pine sol floor cleaner note. Voila. So that's how you start seeing different facets in fragrances. Sometimes you see a nice facet, sometimes you see a not so nice facet, but you see how it belongs to the character. And sometimes you will see a nice facet, but it's so nice, you're like, is that just natural? And sometimes you see a facet you don't like and it shouldn't belong. So this way, by comparing. Another one you're going to have that you're going to receive, and I want to show you because the formula is published online. If you go on Dreamair website, so dreamair.nyc, the Dreamair website, you go to Perfumery Revealed formula. Perfumery Revealed formula. And I have some formulas that I've published in there. One of them is the community. So I explained to you why it was published at the time, and but for now, for those of you who are receiving this, you smell this and you start to see what could give you certain effects. So the point is not to see every note. Your nose cannot see more than 3 to 5, 6, 7 notes at one point in time. And so after an hour, you might see another 3, 5, 6, 7 notes. But you cannot see this in one go. Now, if you have not received the community, you take 2 fragrances and you do calmly at home, where you don't have all the scents like when you do in a store. And you spray one fragrance and you smell it. Then you spray the other fragrance, doesn't matter what, and then you smell it. It's even better if you spray 2 similar fragrances, spray 2 florals, 2 citrus, 2 colognes, like 2 colognes, 2 chypre, 2 woodies, 2 smoky, 2 fragrances. And then by comparing, your nose is going to be saturated with the smoke and the woods, and then it's going to see the differences. And you are going to see facets you had never seen in your fragrances. You are going to understand how your fragrance is built. You might also understand the quality of one. You might understand the shakiness of another one. You're like, oh yeah, but that's true. Now that I don't, once you remove the tonka, well, there's not much less in this fragrance, actually. I never realized that. But or you're going to see, oh my God, I never knew. So do that with your fragrances. When you have a fresh nose, compare 2. You will see, it's very, very interesting. I do that. It's weird because toothpaste. See, these are my two favorite toothpaste. This one all the time, this one, well, those two I like very much. Well, guess what? Once, it just happened to me like 2 weeks ago, because one has this thing for the teeth, the other one, I don't know, for whatever. And so I said, you know what? So I brushed with one, and I said, you know what? Let me put the other one just like this, without really brushing, just like this, and I keep it. Well, I've seen notes I had never seen, and I know them extremely well, those toothpaste, but we always, usually you brush your teeth with only one toothpaste. So you always see one toothpaste or one thing, and you see the mint, and then sometimes you see a few other things, but it's very rare because mint in those toothpaste is extremely important. So then you brush with one, and then you just taste the other one, and you're going to start seeing a fruity note you had never seen before. Or in one, I saw kind of a lavender or chamomile note. So you know that the toothpaste is a fragrance formula too. It's not just a bit of menthol. It's a formula. It might be 10, 20 ingredients, 5 ingredients, it depends. Or one ingredient is already a base. And with the mint, you always, I don't want to say always, I don't know, but you most likely have things that are not minty away. As I don't know, you may have a little bit of violet to round the mint. You may have a little bit of licorice, or you may have, the fragrance is still minty. But you may have a little bit of iron beta, like a tea note. You may have a little bit of benzaldehyde, like you're going to see all of a sudden a little cherry note because the other one didn't have it. Or you may have another natural extract, or, well, plus there are many different kinds of mints anyway. But still, whatever, try to compare. Try to compare because it will make you much more educated. And you're going to start to understand things. Just like when you do wine tasting. So, another thing I want you to mention when you compare, before we talk about the two other things you're going to find, the June things you're going to find in your thing. Have a coffee or have a wine and do this in different glasses. So I know some of you big in wine, you've tried that. Some usually when we drink wine, we don't start having 3 glasses in front of us and the same wine pouring 3. It's a piece of work, yeah? But try that. Or even easier, I brought you here 4 shapes of coffee. So me, the more mug that I use is this. The narrow mug I don't like because there's not enough air here, and so you don't smell enough. But the way I do my coffee is I put the filter, the V shape. By the way, I don't use paper. I only use gold or silver filters. And it's not so expensive. I'm just telling you, look on Amazon, gold filters, and it makes a big difference. Paper is disgusting. But, so you put the V, I put it directly on the container on which I'm going to drink. And I love these tulip containers. And so you have this much coffee, a lot of headspace. So you drink your coffee in here. Then you drink your coffee, you do it. I love these glasses too. You see, it's not a tulip shape, but it works very well. You have the coffee up to here, and then this amount of space is very nice to enjoy the whole. That works too. You're going to see some little shades of notes. But the worst is, and put the thing right here. And then do it on a container like this. Even this is fabulous. See, this is actually a matcha, or this is a green tea cup. But put the coffee right here, and then even if you fill it up to here, and then you smell, and then you drink it. You will see. And then now you do your coffee the way you do it, with the paper filter in the can, and then from the can you put it in your cup, and then from the cup you drink or you smell the cup. You will see the big difference, the same coffee. So, voila, compare. You will have big surprises, a lot of learnings. That's what we do in perfumery all the time. So now the people are going to receive the Rhino mail. You're going to get a carrot seed from Tunisia. I don't know many places that does that otherwise. That carrot is not even on the market yet. The Tunisian engineer was here, is actually from the pharmacy industry, and they are starting to extract, because pharmaceutical equipment is extremely good at extracting also volatiles. And if they know how to do it. And so it's actually a domestic carrot, so it's the orange carrot. Usually when you buy carrot seed oil, on the market is the wild carrot, which grows wild in France, or maybe they plant it in other places. And usually you have the seed with a little bit of the umbrella around the seed with it. A bit of that wood, because it's dry when you collect that. Carrot seed, have you seen the parsley blooming? Chervil blooming? Or turnips or carrots? It has these things. Or hemlock, the sigu. It has this thing and it makes an umbrella like this. So that's what, and then the seeds are on there. So usually, so here the carrot, they remove the seed, so it's only the seed, and it was extremely lactonic, milky, which I did not know. So that was very interesting. So I wanted you to share with you this thing. Now, carrot seed oil, I encourage everybody to buy a little bit. It's a very nice scent. It's a nice woody note. Sometimes, very famous, certain extracts have a little apricot, round apricot note. It's just nice, and it's used a lot in cosmetic to heal. I think it's good for the skin, actually, or for wounds, or well, don't take my words on that, but I know in cosmetic they like it, or in aromatherapy, and I think it's good on the skin for some things. Carrot seed oil, but here you're going to get one that is, you will see, very milky, coconutty, so not so apricot, more milk. So very nice. And then you're going to see so the jasmine, so that you can see those different facets and how I build that accord. The jasmine, the community, the Havana, and the carrot seed. Voilà, the community and the carrot seed is June, and then the Havana and the Havana. Oh, I have 3 fragrances. Yeah, so I don't remember. We have the list. Eliane has a list. Which one is May, which one is June? But that's just for the people that would join only in June, then they will receive only June. Voilà. So Havana was before the jasmine, so Havana is only May. But it doesn't matter. So this is the story about comparing. And I do also, another thing I do now is the fruit season. So buy 2 white nectarines and 2 yellow nectarines, and you open them at the same time, and then you eat them one after the other. You will compare. It's different from doing it from the mind. Oh yeah, I know what it tastes like this, and I know. Compare. You will see. When you have now very good with the peaches, so you take a donut peach, and then you take a white peach, and then you take a yellow peach, and do it with the melons. So now they have these melons. Not they have, but you can do the honeydew melon, and then my favorite is the Cavaillon or the Charentais melon, because the cantaloupe in America, that is not so good. Interestingly enough, for everybody, the Dominican Republic is now growing the Charentais melon. And so I bought them in America. They were really hard to find. And now you find here, so not the Charentais, obviously, or not the Cavaillon melon, but from Dominican Republic, that species. I think Chile grows them as well in the reverse of the season, when it's winter here. I think I've seen some from Chile arriving, being flown to Europe. So in the winter, usually I don't look for these melons. But I do know this is something, for instance, I miss from Europe. Now they are shipped everywhere from France to the rest. And yes, I'm French, I disclose that. But they are really, really, really good, the orange melon. Now, a nice honeydew is also very nice. But the Charentais or Cavaillon, or now from Dominican Republic, are much better than the cantaloupe we find here. Anyway, so compare all this, and you're going to see it's not just melony. A melon is not just melony. You might find a very ripe papaya or orange note in there. By the way, I think one of the toothpaste has a citrus note. That's also not unusual to add something. But you cannot tell if you just try something alone. You can, and then maybe when you compare, as I say, wine, but it's more set up, and then you have to open all these bottles, so it's more different. Voilà. So, the kombucha, I compare also kombucha. If I have one, someone else has another one, we compare the flavors that they have. And that grape kombucha has a civet taste. I don't know why, but it's a really cool, the way they've made the flavor. Voilà. So thank you very much. And next one we'll talk about, I don't know, I like to decide last minute. I know I want to do one a little bit about history in general, and then one about the replacement of Lilac, and etc. So, but this is also for the public, because I've done already one when I talked about the changes in fragrance formulas. Now I want to talk specifically about this one and the isoeugenol. Voilà. So talk to you soon, and thank you very much.